Hello and welcome to Lesson 5. In this lesson I will explain the cheat that inhumane people use that enables them to present ideas mentally to another related person and not be perceived as the presenter of the ideas. Normally, if we think of somebody that we are related to, and in particular strongly related to, and have some ideas in mind, and particularly if we are addressing them with those ideas, then that person will perceive both the ideas and the person presenting them. They will know that the ideas are not their own thinking. The scientific establishment has not shown this. However, their experiments are seriously wanting, and I will explain that in another lesson. But we have evidence from millions of people worldwide who have called on a loved one in a time of trouble when they've needed help, and the loved one has been able to perceive the need and who it is and has been able to go and help them. And sometimes that person has been in a remote location, not where they would normally be found. So this is evidence that ESP and telepathy are real, despite the medical claims that they are merely magical thinking and that they are not real. Inhumane people see this ability of the perceiver of the thought, knowing who is presenting those thoughts to them, as a disadvantage. They want to be able to cheat the person to make them believe that the thoughts are their own thinking. And that can only be done if the person presenting the thoughts is hidden. So how is this done? This is another introduction or a meeting where the targeted person meets the evil inner character of the inhumane person. And this is done by creating some very nasty but momentary event or something said nasty. And then it is quickly taken back with the excuse that, hey, I didn't mean it. I've been stressed lately and I feel really tired and I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. And of course, the other person only knows the mask, so they are very likely to dismiss what they saw or heard because they will reason to themselves that it's inconsistent with the person they know. But of course, they only know the mask, so they will dismiss information yet again, and this time of the true character of the inhumane person. So when the awareness arises again, they will not have the information they need to be able to know what that awareness is. So the evil person can present ideas and remain hidden. The ideas will appear as the person's own thinking for lack of information about their awareness of the evil character. Years ago, I did an experiment once that showed some very interesting results. Some people that I knew were hassling me, making mental suggestions and posing concealed threats. I decided to hassle them and turn the tables on them. I made myself a mask. Now, I don't know why I thought to do this, but I did. I made myself a mask and I put it on and sat in front of the mirror and addressed them. And I made some rather nasty remarks, but nothing that indicated who I was. And I could perceive that they were talking amongst themselves and saying that somebody was talking about them And did you get what they said? It was awful. Who is it? Who is it? They didn't know who I was, and yet they must have had awareness of who I was because they were able to perceive the ideas that I was presenting mentally. So there was, in some sense, that mental connection was there, but they were lacking the information to understand who was addressing them. So what it appeared to me is that relationship, where there is sufficient relationships, close enough, whether the relationship is a good one or a bad one, entails some sort of mental connection or mental entanglement. Is probably where there is shared information, but it does allow the one person to be able to address another relating or related person mentally. And of course, as I said, normally we know that, but that can be exploited to create problems, especially if we believe the medical view that all ideas are created in your brain. Thoughts can be merely our perceptions of ideas being presented to us. The ideas are not necessarily part of our own thinking process. Now, how can that be exploited? I will begin the explanation in the next lesson.